Hello. Welcome to my very first video. All of my videos will be DDS/text to speech. I will be doing creepypastas and other videos. Hope you enjoy the video. P.S. My videos will be in either a male or female voice. This video is in a female voice. I want to start by adding I am not tech savvy in the slightest. I am deemed as educated, but am a simple pleb when it comes to computers and other technology. I'm 61 and have a decent build. Not the best looking young guy, but women have never been an issue. I seem to have a chip on my shoulder, and seem to have a short temper, which in this case got me in more trouble than I thought was possible. One day, when I was a sophomore in high school, my close friend Sam had told me he had something to show me that would make me shit my pants. Sam was the tech guy. Growing up with a father who worked for IBM, he always had a computer close to fuck around with. With confusion, I simply replied with a brief, "I don't want to shit my pants," sarcastic answer. He laughed and told me I needed to watch this video. The day went on, and after school we hopped in my car and hurried to his house, which was always void of parents. He could barely contain his excitement as he nearly busted his ass running upstairs to grab his laptop. He asked, "Are you ready?" with some demented grin on his face. I replied, sure man," followed by some insecure giggle. He opened his laptop and started typing out shit on some browser I wasn't familiar with. "What's that website you're using?" I asked. "It's not a website, you fucking idiot. It's a web browser I downloaded," he mockingly answered. "Okay, you fucking prick, I was just asking," as I laughed and smacked him on the shoulder. He then pulled up some cheap looking website. Don't remember the name, so don't ask. At the time I didn't care about that shit. He then clicked a link and a video box popped up. He then proceeded to hit play. Immediately I asked what the fuck was going on, because all I saw was some guys huddled around another man who was hog-tied, laying on the ground. Quickly the men began to kick the defenseless man and swiftly leaned him up on his knees, only holding him by just his hair. One of the sick fucks then began to hack at the guy's throat with a small knife. Only could imagine how dull it was, because it took a moment before blood began to spew out of the poor guy's throat. They finished cutting through after about 5 minutes, then the video faded out and some Arabic letters appeared and the video ended. I watched in horror, but managed to finish the video with only a look of disgusted, not amazement. I had seen a beheading video before, but not in 1080p, that's for sure. "Dude," I yelled at the end of the video. "These fuckers are really stepping up their camera quality. Maybe we will see Bigfoot in HD soon." I was all jokes then. How does it feel to see something not everyone can access? Or knows how to access? Sam asked with a smug smile on his face. "What do you mean?" I asked. "I'm using the Tor browser, which gives me access to the deep web. When you're in the deep web, you can find websites that are commonly placed in the genre as the dark web. This is where you can find the most fucked up fetishes, buy drugs, and watch people murdered in live streams, even though those are mostly a scam." He answered without a hesitation, like he was ready to answer me. Interested in the fact I could have access to that kind of stuff quickly sparked my interest. "Could I get that Tor browser and do this shit on my computer, or do I have to be a nerd like you?" I jokingly asked. He rolled his eyes and explained, "Yes, dickhead, you can get on it. I'll show you. Go grab your laptop from your car." It's pretty ironic, because I was the one who then nearly busted my ass from excitement to go grab my laptop. After coming back from my car, he took the computer from my hands and turned it on. "You dumbass, you don't even have a password for your computer." He laughed as he began to download the software I needed. "Okay man, I'm gonna give you a few rules since you are a fucking retard when it comes to this stuff. 1. Don't ever fucking give anyone your information. You will give yourself an alias. 2. If you do stumble on some fucked up chat room, which isn't likely, but if you happen to do so, don't speak. Don't get testy with these fuckers like you do in the real world. These guys don't fuck around. They will hurt you if they feel threatened, and believe me, they are a lot smarter than you. 3. There is nasty stuff, kiddie porn, fuck up snuff films, and torture. If you don't look for it, you won't find it. Plain and simple. Go home and Skype me. I gotta do my homework before my parents get home." I sped home as fast as I could. To be honest, I'm surprised I didn't get pulled over in the process. I ran up to my room and quickly opened my laptop. "Jay, is that you? Why did you run upstairs so fast?" My mom yelled across the house. Yeah, man, I got a lot of homework to do. I yelled back. My parents weren't too strict, in fact, they were pretty laid back. They trusted me, and if they knew this story, I'm sure that blessing would surely end. I opened my laptop and scurried onto Skype to call Sam. He almost immediately answered. "What's up, pussy boy? Do you know if Brookhaven, our econ teacher, said our worksheet is due tomorrow or Monday?" He asked. "I don't know. All I do know is I want to get on tour," I answered. "First off, call it the deep web, not tour. You say something like that to someone in there, you will get eaten alive with insults." "Alright, fuck the homework, let me walk you through the basics," he said to me in pure embarrassment of my lack of knowledge to his lingo. He then ran me through basically everything I needed. He told me it wouldn't be hard for a pro hacker to find me, if need be, since I only had basic software on my computer. He made sure to embed that point into my head. We then began surfing the deep web together. Hours flew by. We found so many weird and cool things that most people would call boring, but to me it was so intriguing. I had this feeling of excitement and adrenaline from what I would find after each click of my mouse. We found cult activist websites. You'd never believe the amount of psycho shit people actually believe. We joined some chat rooms of a group of guys trying to recover hidden files from the government. You know, basic shit. It wasn't until about 8:30 my mom came in with my dinner and asked what I was doing. "Just talking to Sam and reading about crazy people's beliefs," I answered. "Yeah, there sure are some weird people out there." "Alright, well, enjoy your dinner and bring down your dishes when you're finished," she said as she kissed the back of my head. We continued to fuck around until about 12 at night. We finished off our exploration with a website to buy drugs, which I surely was sketched out about because I didn't think you were even allowed to be on that site to begin with. Shows you what I knew, right? Lol. The next day I went to school and got ready for the weekend, which mainly consisted of working at my job, which was at a car wash. I didn't really get back on the computer until about Sunday night, which I had already forgotten about our Thursday escapade. Mainly because although it was exciting for me, it wasn't anything you'd recall as memorable. Sunday night, I get on Skype to do homework with Sam like we normally would do. As he answered the call, he asked me if I wanted to do more exploring. Of course I agreed. As both of us began to read out links and websites to one another, that same exciting feeling I felt on Thursday returned and we were back off again, finally calling it a night when it was getting pretty late. This went on and on for several weeks, maybe months, who cares? Yes, of course, eventually I found some gore websites for child porn, which of course we never went past the homepage of any of the sites, and even some porn that could make the common man puke. Like, honestly, some of you people are sickening when it comes to getting a load off, but to each their own. Then came the day I will always remember. Honestly, I can almost remember every step I took this day. Every step. That's how much of an impact it was on me mentally and physically. I had a banana for breakfast. I had to get gas that morning and had ran late to school. I got a 78 on a literature test. Sam and I got McDonald's after school and I took him home, and it being a Wednesday we went about our newly founded routine. We both got on Skype and started our voyage. It wasn't until 7:30 at night that he had to get off and go do whatever him and his family had planned for the night. I still continued to explore. It then began to become apparent to me that Sam was usually the one guiding us to all the websites and I could only find small dead-end links, so I decided to get ballsy. Started to go to those gore sites Sam had showed me and dig deeper into them. It wasn't long until I found chat rooms from these sites where people discussed what they liked from particular videos. It didn't bother me much cause it didn't surprise me that people enjoyed that nasty shit. Until one of the members of the chat sent a link into the group chat. I saw many people of the current chat were leaving, and I am sure it was because they were following the link. So I did too. My laptop began to make some weird noises, and the screen kept redirecting me to multiple different windows. Finally, it decided to settle on a page that popped up with a simple prompt. Name. I typed my stupid alias I decided to go with back when we started this nonsense. Wet slime. Don't ask. Once I hit enter, a disclaimer popped up. Warning. What you are about to open is not for the weak. You are constantly being monitored, and any activity we deem suspicious will result in repercussions. Do not talk about this chat room. Do not show people this chat room. Do not share this chat room. Do not even think about this chat room unless you are in this room. The people in this site aren't normal, and if you are the least bit sane, you will be offended and or sickened. Beware. I didn't really think much of it, kind of cliche and stupid in my opinion, considering someone literally just sent the link to the site in another chat room. I hit proceed. I was greeted with this chat room that had a bloody theme on all the borders, which I found insanely cheesy. I noticed immediately how people were just chatting away. A message almost every second. Just talking like crazy. Not paying any attention to what they were saying. I began to go towards the back button when a picture popped up in the messages section. The chat slowed to a steady halt for a brief moment. In the picture was a child, with her mouth slit open, and she had face paint on, so I'm guessing it was to resemble the Joker. I was kind of grossed out because I hadn't seen anything involving children before. I definitely wanted to get out of this chat room, but the sender then began boasting about what he had done to this poor young girl. Haha, this bitch squealed like a pig, he exclaimed in the chat. I was heartbroken. This pig had actually done this to this poor girl and was proud of it. I kept back because I knew this was exactly the kind of chat Sam warned me about. The others then started to cheer for this guy, saying some fucking disgusting shit. I was so sad, man, I couldn't believe it. I then texted Sam about what had happened and continued to read. They started to talk about who they wanted to kill and how they wanted to do it. I won't give names or aliases because maybe one of you is on here. Some even sent more pictures and even a video of one of them gutting a man in front of his children. These guys were fucking sick. My rage kicked in and knew I had to say something to these fuckwads. You motherfuckers are demented pieces of dog shit that deserve everything you've done to you. I waited before hitting send, just watching as these people sent more and more pictures and messages. Finally, I hit send. Silence filled the room. The messages stopped. Then came it all. They all attacked like a lion to its prey. You're not gonna do shit, pussy. Someone find this person. Go back to YouTube, bitch. TTC, etc. Then one of the members typed, listen, maggot. Don't fuck with shit that is over you. You are done. I don't know what kind of trouble your mouth has gotten you in, but you obliviously have never been taught how to speak to strangers. You're done, bitch. I sat in shock for a moment and replied, I'll be waiting, cunt. Acting like some badass I knew I wasn't. Then came a pop-up. Asterisk admin has banned you from the board, asterisk. I kind of just sat there looking at the pop-up. Confused and sick, I walked to the bathroom to take a piss. I came back with a missed call from Sam. I called back within the next few minutes. Hey man, I got your message, what's going on? He asked. Dude, I joined a chat room. And these people were fucking crazy, man. I answered, gritting my teeth. Why? They think God is some spaghetti monster. He chuckled while he asked, no motherfucker, these guys were murderers. I yelled quite loudly. Whoa man, relax, what do you mean? He paused. How do you know? They sent pictures, man. Fucking pictures of dead kids and people. I said back to him in a hushed tone, this time knowing one of my parents must have heard me. Okay. You didn't say anything to them, did you? Sam stuttered. It took a moment to work up the courage to admit my stupidity. Yeah, I actually insulted them. And one threatened me. I shamefully answered. You are so stupid. I swear to God that temper of yours is your biggest burden. He said. You better hope they don't know how to find you or truly want to. My dad then barged in holding a small case. You okay? I heard you scream. He asked. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry for cussing, I answered. You're fine. Luckily your mom didn't hear you. Check this out, he said as he walked over to me, reaching into the case. I told Sam to hang on and muted the call. What is it? I asked, trying to speed things up so I could get back to my call with Sam to figure this mess out. I got a new gun. He pulled it out and showed me. Glock 19, only a 9mm, but it's reliable. He added. Sweet dad. Sorry, but I was on a call with Sam, I explained. I gotcha, sorry to bother you, son. Good night and keep your voice down. He responded. I said good night and returned to my call. We talked a little and eventually I called it a night. I went to sleep and honestly it hadn't hit me the damage I had done to myself. I woke the next morning and the day just seemed gloomy. Cloudy, a little rainy, and cold. I went about the day normally, slowly starting to think of the events from the night before. By the end of the day my anxiety was killing me. Thoughts of one of them hurting me or my family filled my head. Few weeks went by and my paranoia started to simmer. For some unknown reason, even today, I still don't know, but one day I decided to check my spam mail. Maybe I wanted to clear it. I don't know. I was selecting messages for deletion when I saw one marked in the subject line. From a friend you have met earlier. Sent a week earlier. It read, "Hey Jay, how you doing, motherfucker? It's your friend from the chat you recently were in. Remember? Shock, I got your email. Actually, I got more than that. Inserted my address and phone number. Just wanted to let you know that I got you, bitch, and I'll see you soon, bud." I sat back in my chair with tears filling my eyes, and I don't cry often. I didn't know what to think. All I knew was that I really wanted to tell my parents, and I know I should have, and you guys will judge me for it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I had just finished the school year and was gonna be home for a while, so I knew I could try to prepare myself for the inevitable. I didn't even tell Sam cause I knew his bitch ass would say something to someone. Weeks went by with me looking over my shoulder and not getting much sleep. I had become depressed and really run down. I lost my job because I missed so many shifts. I would rarely leave the house. My mom stayed home to take care of the house while my dad worked. If something happened to her under my wrongdoing, I know I couldn't live with myself. I just wanted this fucker to do something. After I started to believe he just wanted me to be scared and was just taunting me is when things took a turn. My family and I just got home from a birthday party for my cousin when I went upstairs to find something off. My laptop was sitting open on my bed. Turned on. I walked closer and realized my webcam was recording. I took an awkward step toward my desk where I had placed a small pocket knife between my bed and desk. It was then I heard, "Damn, you're taller than I thought," and felt two hands grab me, one wrapping over my mouth. I froze for a moment, then began to fight. Holy fuck, I've never thought so hard to scream in my life. All the while he's saying things like, "Told you, you fucking prick, I'd get you. Now take a look." He directed me in front of my webcam. "All those people you called out are going to see this." He laughed menacingly. "I'm gonna gut you and your family and show people not to fuck with us." I finally fought hard enough to free myself to break free of the hand holding my mouth shut and scream, "Dad, help." Although, I heard some scuffling downstairs and my mom screaming. I got no answer. I broke free of his other arm and popped the guy in the face and stabbed him in the gut with the small knife and ran to help my parents, but the fucker was faster. As I approached the stairs, I felt my feet get away from me and a push from my back. He had just slammed me over the railing leading downstairs. I fell about 20 feet and my ankles broke my fall. Fuck me, I knew they were broken, or at least one was the second I smacked the ground. In a daze I heard two pops from the kitchen and I tried to crawl, screaming for my parents. "I'm coming, Jay." My dad screamed. The guy who threw me down the steps started to make his way down, fairly quickly, knowing my dad was still alive. "You are fucking dead, all of you," he screamed across the house. He ran up to me and stomped on my face, and what felt like he had shattered my cheekbone made me yelp out in pain. I still remember that pain before almost passing out. As he started winding up for another stomp, I started to slowly black out, and all I remember hearing was 3 more gunshots, which will forever ring in my head, before completely losing consciousness. I woke up to my father crying for me to wake up and mother crying to the paramedics. They were okay. The paramedics then moved over to me and started doing their thing. "Can you hear me, young man?" he asked before shining a light in my eye. I couldn't respond. I was so fucked up. That blow to the head really got me. I again passed out. It wasn't until the next day I finally woke up with enough understanding of what really was going on. Yet, it was late in the day and everyone was waiting on me to wake up. Everyone being the doctors and my parents. A big smile went across everyone's face when they noticed I was up. "Hey champ," my dad cheerfully said. My mother just started crying. "What happened?" I slowly asked. 3 men broke in last night. You managed to break your leg falling down the stairs and fracturing your other ankle. He got a good stomp on you, but you'll be fine," he explained. "And the men?" I asked in pure terror for the answer. "Shot me once, just missing my shoulder, but I got 2 of them." He nodded while turning to my mother. "The neighbors heard the gunshots and called the police. Your mother ran outside screaming for help. Then after shooting the first goo, Guy twice in the head. I noticed the third guy make a break for the door. I chased him towards the front of the house where you were laying there getting stomped on and fired at both the men. Shot the one stomping on you in the throat and ran after the third guy. And I simply asked. He looked down and said he jumped in the passenger seat of a blue pickup and they took off. Did they get caught? My eyes getting wider. No, but they are looking. He had his plates duct taped over. He explained. There was a silence that filled the room for a moment. Then my dad spoke again. Hey, your buddy Sam came by. Gave his condolences. It was then that I realized something. My laptop, it had recorded the whole ordeal and I'm sure the police searched the whole house. I thought, should I ask if they found it propped up recording? Quickly thought I should just wait and see if someone brings it up. But no one ever did. In fact, I got home to find it smashed in pieces on my ground. The guy probably ran in the room when things went wrong and smashed it while I was too busy crawling to my parents. Obviously, the cops didn't think he was using it and probably thought it had been broken in the scuffle between the guy and I. I spent a week or two in the hospital before I was free to go. Eventually, they caught the guy driving the truck due to the fact his truck was so distinguishable and we all had to testify against him. In trial, he refused to give up the name of the third accomplice. Well, in court, he just stared at me most of the time and I tried to hide my fear the best I could. I was mostly worried he would mention how I brought this upon myself and would make me an accessory. I don't know how it works, but he never did. He was found guilty to an accessory in attempt of murder and armed robbery, 20 years without the possibility of parole. The two dead men were no bodies, but when police raided their houses they found an enormous amount of weapons, probably purchased from the deep web. The whole part that scares me is how he only lived about an hour away, along with the other guys that broke in. Knowing that there are sick fucks like this all over the place haunts me. You never know who someone is. Time went by and as life went on more people began to give less of a shit. I developed PTSD and to this day wake up screaming thinking someone is watching me. I had to buy a nightlight like a fucking 5-year-old. It's been 3 years and I've almost gotten over my fears. We moved not long after for obvious reasons and began to go about our lives. The reason I'm posting this now is because I received an email a few weeks back with pictures of the two dead men in my old house. The subject marked Revenge. Who took the pictures? I don't know, maybe the guys came back later and took the picture. I don't know. Maybe one of the detectives or coroners who took pictures of the case is in on it. I don't know. Who knows, maybe I fucked with a big murderous cult, or maybe just some psychos with computers. Again, to this day no one else knows why they broke in and simply took it as some thug trying to fuck with the more fortunate. Sam has an idea of who broke in because of the phone call I made to him about the chat room, but I refuse to tell. Yet, now that I know that they are still out there and haven't forgotten about me brings chills to my spine. Now I have to live watching my back for God knows how long before they attack again. Maybe one day I'll grow enough of a sack to ask for help, but I know nobody can do anything to stop it. I'm not here to say don't go on the deep web or anything like that. Just be mindful of the repercussions that may follow. Good luck. And if you're reading this and know who I am or you're the one who sent the email, I'm sorry, please leave me alone. I learned my lesson. Thank all of you for sticking to the end. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me how you feel in the comments below.